I literally could not imagine leaving the Orthodox community. It was a wild fantasy that was impossible. That's how I saw it. But more than that, I didn't have a strong desire to leave because all my thoughts of leaving were, I chalked them all up to being my Yetzer Hara, my evil inclination. My parents are Chabad Shluchim, and I'm the second of 9 children. I have an older sister. I was the oldest boy, so I was kind of my dad's pride and joy. My dad was sure I was going to become a Rosh Yeshiva because apparently when I was little, I seemed smart. But then at age 13, I was sent off to yeshiva in Chicago. And I enjoyed a good part of my yeshiva life there because I wanted to excel, and this was the opportunity to excel, and I did well in yeshiva. But all the time, somewhere in my subconscious, there was always this thought that this all doesn't feel right for me. And I'd fantasize about material success. I came from a very poor family, and I didn't like the fact that I couldn't, afford potato chips and a can of Coke. But all those thoughts for me were kind of fantasies. They weren't things that I actually entertained as being something I could do. The time at the Footsteps camping trip for me was an eye-opener. I was very pessimistic about it. But I went, and that was where I discovered that Footsteps is a place with all types of people. And everyone has their own journey and own struggles. And most of us formerly Orthodox who leave, we do feel like we're in it alone. We don't feel like there's any family support usually, or support from the outside. And what Footsteps does for us is it basically is a statement that there are people who are doing this. There are people who Orthodoxy is just not for them, and that there are alternatives for it. I'd also like to speak to those people out there who feel that they can go at it on their own, and that this is their journey and they don't need help, and they'll be okay. But I know for me, that is exactly what I said. And I tried being tough and strong, but at some point it wasn't enough. At some point it gets tiring to be a Lone Ranger and to fight the world, if you want to use those words. But having support should never be underestimated. Having people who you can talk to about your journey is tremendously valuable, and you can get that at Footsteps.